Welcome everyone to the 40th Keshe Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And today we'll be meeting with Mr. Keshe of the Spaceship Institute a little later in the workshop. First we'll be speaking with Marko at the Spaceship Institute, and he'll be describing a bit of his latest adventures in the lab, and we'll find out I think something about his, I believe, what I understand is a submersible reactor. We'll also be talking about some other things during this workshop. Mr. Keshe is quite excited about, as everyone is, about the latest reactor configuration at the Spaceship Institute, which is what you see on the screen there now. And Mr. Keshe has recently said, I believe the comment was, "We have landed," and the reactor configuration has just made it down to the floor after being above the floor for the last while, and we watched that in the kids' workshop for many hours. Okay, let's go over to the Spaceship Institute. I think Marko's there. Are you there, Marko? Hi. Okay. So can you tell us something about what you've been up to lately there? Hang on a sec. Hang on a second. There's a problem with the audio here. I think I have to fix in this Skype. So just a sec. No, it's on my side here. So just a second here.
Yeah, it's just
okay. There we go. It's a Skype issue, which I think I have it fixed now. So go ahead again, Marko. Sorry about that.
Is it okay now?
Let's try again.
Hear me? Okay. Okay. Good day. Good morning. Good evening to everybody. It's Thursday again, and our workshop, as always, same hour, same channel. It was not advertised, published, I think, this one. I didn't notice any...
I got it up a few hours ago, actually, but a bit late.
Oh,
yep.
Oh, so late. Yeah, because yesterday I was looking at the forum and there was no any announcement about workshop. But we know which week we are here, so it's the same week also this week. Yeah, we are a little bit late because we were all watching the landing of our star formation reactor setup in last night, and we went to bed very late. We were all waiting for this landing, and legs touched the floor, and then it went very slowly. So at the end, I went to the bed, I think 1:30 in the morning. So as Rick said, Mr. Keshe is not here. He has urgent meeting or some conversation regarding Keshe Foundation technology, and I hope he will join us very soon with some good news. So maybe we can try to answer some question or whatever is interesting for you, or we can also discuss about the latest setup that I was working on in last 2 weeks, and maybe we can go to details about this I believe there was a picture.
Sure, I'd like to hear that.
Okay. So the main idea is, again, that we have star formation, 4 reactors, 3 base reactors and 1 at the top, or in my case I have it in the bottom, so it's mirror, like mirror picture of the star formation that you are seeing, that you see it now on the live stream from our lab. The top reactor, actually the 4th reactor, is not at the top, is at the bottom. So 3 base reactors and 4 reactors at the bottom, but still star formation, and in such a way we again create free plasma in the middle of all 4 reactors. That's the main point, to create free plasma somewhere in the middle.
So let me get clear on that.
Marko?
Are you working on a separate 4 reactor setup than what we see here now? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, there are 4 reactors, yeah. In all of them, there is GANS material. And these 4 reactors are fixed in position. 3 of them are in the, let's say, ground floor, or it's in the 1 level. And the 4th reactor is a little bit lower of them. But they're all fixed in, let's say, 3 of them in 1 plate. And 4th reactor is fixed a little bit lower. They are not rotating on its own. I don't have motors in reactors separately. They are positioned inside another sphere. If you could imagine this. So the center reactor, or the bottom reactor, is in the axle. How do you call it? In a shaft, or it's in the middle, in the center. So it is rotating. When I rotate the whole sphere, which has positioned these 4 reactors inside, the middle reactor is in the center of the shaft, and the others are a little bit out of, so in a certain diameter out of the axle, and they're all together rotating around the same axle, because only one sphere is rotating.
So are they loose,
Okay.
but they're loose and able to rotate?
No, another option
they're not
was...
rotating on their axis. That's the point thing.
No,
right?
no.
They're not rotating on their axis. They're rotating on the center axis.
Yeah. So
okay, so when you spin it,
yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, do you hear me?
Yeah.
When you spin it, you get the band in the center reactor that's a little bit lower, but on the other 3 reactors, do you get a band, or do you get a spot where the GANS is located? Because I've thought about this before, thinking about next versions of the prototypes.
at the
check
moment.
sound.
I was just sorry. Let me say that to the live stream. We just lost some audio there in the live stream. We just have to go over that again. Last couple of sentences.
Do I have to repeat something, or?
Well,
so was it?
If you can remember the last couple of sentences, that would be great.
Yeah, I think so. Was it the just after I asked that question, or was it before I asked the question?
We're not clear here on when that happened. We'd have to play back the live stream probably to get that. I think it's only for a brief. I think it's only for a brief time. Yeah, that'd be good. Thanks.
Okay, I'll just ask the question of with that formation, when you rotate the entire assembly, the center reactor would have the band as it would be spinning on its axis, but the outer reactors in the formation, you say they do get the band, or you're not sure?
As I said, by my opinion, you get a band also in the other reactors that are not spinning on the axle. But at the moment, I cannot confirm you this because the wall of the reactors is not transparent. I cannot see what's happening inside. I would have to open it, but at the moment when these tests are still in progress, I don't want to open it. So
no. No, we don't want to open it, but the reason why I asked is because with what Mr. Keshe said last night, he said that you noticed that there was the vibration of the lift vibration was already occurring in your systems right after a very small amount of time. Is that correct?
Yeah. We started this setup on Friday evening, and on Saturday, Mr. Keshe, I was not here during the weekend, but Mr. Keshe said that he noticed the vibration already on Saturday. So the vibration is similar like you see it now on the live stream from the lab. And the setup is trying to move. The whole setup is trying to move, and then it goes back. So the fields in the center, this free plasma is somehow created, and it tries to position itself and tries to rotate. So in a way, this is a confirmation that also this setup, which doesn't have spinning of all the reactors on its own, it works, and it's much easier to set it up, to put it together. You don't have this
just need one motor
complicated setup with all 4 bearings and 4 motors inside. Actually, here you need only one motor, and you rotate all the sphere with 4 reactors positioned inside. But let us do more testings and to see what will be the result. Actually, it's a completely new setup, and it's we are posting it immediately when it was put together. So we need to do more tests and to see what the
Can you describe what GANs is inside?
At the moment, there is only copper oxide GaNs. I put 3 milliliters of copper oxide GaNs in each of these spheres, in each of these 4 reactors. The full volume of each sphere is 11 milliliters. So these are very small spheres.
Are these the 3 spheres that aren't attached to the central? Are the 3 spheres that aren't attached to the central shaft? Are they sort of loose in there, or are they attached somehow to the central sphere? Like you mentioned, they don't rotate. But
no,
are they loose inside, or are they attached to the center sphere somehow?
They are not loose. That was the option, to put them onto the bearings so that they can rotate freely. But at the moment, that was too complicated setup, and that was the quickest way to put them together. I just fixed them in one plate. If you can imagine, I made a plate like circular.
Well, I think you can look at my picture too, right? Sorry, I think I fixed the delay. If you look at my picture, you can see that there is the 1 reactor in the center and the 3 that are a little bit further out around the side, and of course there's one at the bottom too. But if you think about the one at the top is missing and inside of a little ball, let's say, and just spinning on its own, that's basically what you're thinking about, or what you're talking about, right?
Which picture, on the Skype or on the?
Yeah, my profile picture on Skype.
Oh yeah. That's the idea, yes. But they are not so closely together. They are positioned a little bit at a distance. You have also the 5th reactor at the bottom. You have 5 reactors here.
Yes, that's what I was saying. Just remove the top one, and you have the formation that yours is in, right, with the one on the bottom.
Yeah. Well, that's the idea. So the center reactor, it's rotating together with the axle, and the other are eccentrical. And they are inside a sphere, completely inside the sphere, and that sphere is rotating.
And what size is that other sphere, the outer one?
About 10 centimeters.
And so the 3 on the equator, the starship or the triangle, those are out closer to the outer sphere, or they're positioned in a certain way?
They are positioned in all of them in the same diameter. The same diameter, well, radius. It's let's say.
Is it out closer to the sphere, or is it more inside the sphere of those other reactors?
It's closer to the outer sphere. It's about half centimeter from the edge of the sphere. So diameter of these balls is about 1.5 centimeter or something like that. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the bottom reactor is also about the same distance away, so it is a true triangle, correct?
Actually, I used what I have to position this 4th reactor. I used some piece of plastic tube, and so that was the certain length, and I used that. So it's not the same. It's a little bit smaller distance than the distance between 3 base reactors.
But that wasn't on purpose. That was just something that happened due to the construction. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just happened what I have at my hand to put together.
Okay, great, fantastic, thank you. Does anybody else have any questions?
Now, this this is different. What you're just speaking of is different than your submersible reactor. Is that correct, or is this the submersible one that you're speaking of?
It's the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that aspect. Are you actually intending to attempt to make it submersible in water?
Yeah. It's that's the base reactor, the base sphere, and it has attached on the shaft. So this ball or this sphere of 10 centimeters has a shaft, and this shaft is attached to the motor. So when motor is rotating, all sphere is rotating. And then at the top of the motor, it's originally there was a plate, and this plate was hanging from the frame. So all setup was hanging in the middle of the air, like the other setup that we are.
Right.
Marko, this is Brett. How are you going to keep the whole thing from rotating? Or you want the whole thing to just go crazy?
What do you mean? Keep off rotating?
Well, you have your thing put inside that thing, so right? If it's going to be if it's going to be submersible,
yeah,
and you have a motor spinning it, that means there's going to be torque turning the whole thing all crazy, right? Not going to be uniform.
No.
It's attached to the upper frame, is it not?
So that was the first setup. It was just attached to the upper frame. But now I position that motor and small sphere attached to the bigger sphere. So if you can imagine, the motor and the small sphere is inside the bigger sphere.
Right.
And
now you have your motor turned on and it's spinning.
Yeah.
Is the whole thing gonna turn, or just the inside part?
No. Just shaft is spinning. Motor is fixed in the sphere.
Okay.
Hello, Armin just arrived.
So it's okay. Is it so? It's a sphere within a sphere, like it's a star formation within a sphere within a sphere.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
So
I understand. So that's what that picture is. It looks like one ball.
Outer sphere is completely sealed. It has like a tube attached to the outer sphere. This tube is to provide electricity supply. Sorry. Okay, Armin just want to know something. He will talk about his setup later.
So we see on live stream, for example, the picture that Vince was talking about earlier. Now, is this the sphere that you have that contains the smaller reactors? Is this the same one you're talking about?
Yeah, the same one.
Okay. So you'll have a total of 4 reactors inside this sphere.
Yeah, inside the smaller sphere. 4 reactors are inside a smaller sphere, and this smaller sphere rotates on its own. And this smaller sphere is positioned inside the bigger sphere. This bigger sphere can be submerged because it has only one
connection,
pipe. It's actually it's just a 6 mm tube that we are usually use for supplying gases to our gas plasma reactors. So outer diameter of this tube is 6, inner is 2. So it's completely sealed actually.
That should be an interesting experiment if you can get that to actually submerge and so on. That could be very, very...
I do have one more question.
Okay.
And is that the outer sphere, is it filled with anything or is it air?
Outer sphere is just air.
Great, thank you.
Just an air. There was problem with the balance of the sphere. It was a little bit at certain angle. That's why we added weight at the bottom of the sphere. So it's more balancedly floated in the water. But the main idea is to create free plasma inside of the 4-star formation setup, and then when this free plasma is created, then it reacts with Earth magnetic gravitational field, and because all setup is inside a bigger sphere, we are able to submerge all the system into the water.
And as was mentioned,
have you done any tests already this way?
No, actually now it's in the pool. It's inside the water. From yesterday. I marked yesterday the line where it was the position, the height of the sphere, and today it was moved up for about 1 centimeter. So something is happening, but there was not enough time. There's
no water in there.
Yeah. It's floating in the water.
There's no leaking.
No.
Okay, great, thank you.
There is no leaking.
It was interesting in the kids' workshop that Mr. Keshe brought up this idea that in the spacecraft of the near future, let's say, and say one was actually able to go to, touring the universe, going to other planets, that the planets typically might be a liquid type planet rather than having a solid surface the way Earth does. So in order to investigate and search those worlds for life and so on, we may have to travel under fluids, and it may not be water, it could be other toxic fluids and so on. So to learn how to control the fields and the reactor under those conditions would be an important aspect of traveling in space that I hadn't really thought about too much before. They might be mostly traveling in fluid space rather than what we call the vacuum of space.
Yes, for sure. Many planets they have fluid on their surface, and if you want to explore them, you need to submerge to this. So this part of technology, submerging, is also very important. It's same importance like lifting up. So you have to know the both ways, how to move up and down. So that's what we have to learn, and I think that we made quite a big progress from last year. People who were in a plasma reactor group last year, you can remember what we were talking about, and now after a year or something, we are playing with our systems already. So I think it's quite a big progress in 1 year.
Yes, definitely.
Congratulations to everyone there at the Spaceship Institute for hanging in difficult circumstances and so on, and doing such great work. It's amazing seeing the things coming out. So thanks a lot from everybody that watches.
Yeah, thanks to you also, to you, Rick, Vincent, and the others who are very active in plasma reactor group. I think we achieved this together.
Thank you. I think the same way. Yeah. Sounds like you're progressing on the same level as what I want to, as what I have envisioned. So it's just great being able to see it before I make it. But also, I was going to say, what would as you have the reactor in a low formation, we'll call it a low starship formation instead of the high starship formation with Armin's, what would your expected position do if you turned your reactor or your entire assembly upside down? You should be able to do that, right?
So one explanation could be that you change the flow of the fields, and instead of attraction you get repulsion. But we will see. Oh, that's a nice video about that animation of free plasma. It's very easy to explain this terminology of free plasma now with this wonderful animation, so everybody can imagine how free plasma is created.
So your setup would be like this, but upside down, basically, I guess.
Yeah. Just upside down, and the base reactors are not rotating on its shaft. Otherwise, the whole setup is rotating as a one. One interesting thing is also, if we compare this setup with the universe and stars in the universe, we can see that we have a lot of free plasmas in the universe between our stars. Each 4 stars, let's say, create this free plasma, and what we see during the night on the sky, a lot of these stars are not actually real physical stars. They're let's say free plasma, but they still interact with their environment and they create light. So the number of the stars, we were discussing this a few weeks ago, or maybe even more, the number of the stars we see on the night sky is not the real number. We see a lot of this interaction of different stars, and this interaction also emit light. So there is the number of the real stars is much less than they're assuming. There are still millions of them, but not so many as they are saying to us. And it was interesting in last workshop. I think Rick showed this formation flower of light or something, and in that picture you can see this interaction.
It's called the flower of life. Yes, I'm not sure if I've got that image handy, but I'll try to find it.
Okay, but what I want to say, whenever in this picture you see a lot of interactions from, let's say, from different center point of gravitation, and this interaction create this light, and that's also the way how we can see our universe, and all the points where we see light, there is no physical star in that points. I posted a link about some spherical objects that they found in Namibia. I post that link in this Skype chat. So you can see that people are doing tests also all over the world, and sometimes you can lose these spheres, these reactors. And if by chance something happens to our setup, and you will find a small sphere somewhere, you can bring it back to the Sensano. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just showing that sphere there now, the giant metallic ball, 1.1 meter in diameter, that fell out of the sky.
So now you can see how development goes further. That's 1.1 meter diameter, and we are working now with 2-3 centimeter diameter. So development is quite drastic in regarding with this sphere that you see there.
Well, you know that the people that do these developments will try to go bigger instead of going smaller, right? They're still into the burning of the fuel, so they need a bigger fuel tank.
Most likely the Americans will do that.
Mr. Keshe just arrived, and he will also explain something about this. So I'll pass the microphone to him. No.
Yeah, thanks, Marko. That was lots of good information, and I think you got a lot of people thinking about the different ways they can do this. I'm excited to hear that it was along the same lines with what I was thinking about as well, and it's great to see it coming to fruition from yourself. That's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think we should share our ideas and learn from each other, and that's the most important thing. And this information that is exchanging, and so we can move forward. I think your contribution, Vince, was very big from your setup. We learned also here a lot from you, and I hope also the public on live stream or in Keshe Plasma Reactor group will learn from us also. Okay, that's it from me.
Thank you, Marko.
The noise is not good. Okay. Good morning to you all.
Hello, Mr. Keshe.
Good morning, Mr. Keshe.
As you see, we are start sharing the teaching that slowly everyone from the SSI becomes a teacher in their own right, and they carry their message and their knowledge according to the way they are developing it. So gradually you've seen Dr. Elia taking over on the medical side. Marko and Arman will do the same, and becomes a collective teaching. Something which is very interesting regarding this picture which you have on the table, I did not think that Marko will put it up. This was supposed to be something internally for knowledge seekers, but now it's out. We can explain to you exactly what it is. If you look at the date of this ball, it's 22nd of December 2011. There's a further ball found in Brazil on the February of 2012, 2 months later. And these balls were found exactly on the same equator line of, what do you call it, longitudinal, or the height of the Brazil and Namibia. And coincidentally, the Iranian test of capture of American plane was on the 4th of December of 2011. Now, if you look at the structure, is 1.1 meter, the other one is slightly smaller. These are man-made systems. We have seen these, we are aware of these. These, in what you see, is very much a special material. The copy of this steel is here within the foundation. I have shown it to the knowledge seekers. Then you can understand the extent of the involvement of the Keshe Foundation in the spaceship program of Iran. This was part of the structure, will not disclose, but now that it's in open, we better speak, because I didn't think Marko or anybody will put this up. This was part of the teaching here. So what you look at, it's very specific, special steel. This is a center core, mother reactor core, 3-star formation, belong to the Iranian government, most probably they have to declare. This is when I said to our American friends, we cross your nation without you knowing. You have to understand, Namibia and Brazil are thousands of kilometers away from Iran. And in this line of equator, there is not that population. You can do a lot of testing without anybody seeing you. But at the same time, things get lost in the system. Some people have said this is part of the other things, gas cylinder, gas holding, and the rest. But if you look at the original patents of the Keshe Foundation, the diameter of the cores are 1 meter, 1.1 meter. The original design work with Werhart in Belgium is 1 meter diameter. Copy of the steel is here within the foundation, and it's extremely special material. Rotates on the axis. These are the gas injected of the gas layering, the way we have in the original reactors in the background. So if you look at the date, 4th of December 2011, 22nd of 2011, 24th of February 2012. These are all suddenly appear around the same time. And these balls have been seen before. I explained the origin of these before, where they come in and how they are. So the space technology is beyond understanding, and slowly different things we reveal, we open up in what it is and how it is and how the things work. It's a single axis. Our top and bottom is seed is being sheared off. If you go back to some of my talks along a few months ago, 2 or 3 years ago, I gave my condolences to lots of the flight engineers in these systems. And nobody understood at the time. That was saluting the Iranian scientists. If you go back on the track, you understand. But the most important thing is now, we have brought the knowledge of the plasma within the structure of the smaller reactors that we seen last night. Most of us were up till 1 or 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. We have seen the what I call the landing of the what we called Dove of Peace. The system at the moment is scratching on the ground. We see like what do you call it, brake tracks on the floor. I just showed it to Armand downstairs. The system is putting a lot of pressure, but at the same time it's getting a lot of repulsion forces from magnetical fields of the Earth. But it's a lot of skid marks, black skid marks on the floor downstairs with the first tire when it landed in the back, the back, what do you call it, leg of the system. We have to do two things: get it switched off totally, just take one of the reactors out, or His Excellency Mr. Arman has to find a way to fly off, otherwise the system will crash. The weight of the system will break it itself. And I see they started doing it. I received a very interesting text from Her Majesty, Madame Elia, and I just spoke with her just before I come online. She says, tell Armand to put CH-3 in the aluminium core. He will fly. He needs a small sun. So we see if you're going to fly in that purpose, or we can at least create a lift condition. He's got 2 days to lift, otherwise we shut down for the holidays, because the system will crash to pieces. Meanwhile, we see if the system of Marko, which is a floating system, will show how it's going to float today and tomorrow. The interesting part of the whole development is that a lot of scientists around the world have started moving and understanding. And as you know, I couldn't be here on time because we have started negotiation at the highest level in respect to the contamination with the government level at the highest level possible through our intermediaries. So we officially, as of today, are involved in cleanup of Fukushima in line with what we showed in Fukushima a few months ago when Yukoko showed the test. The Japanese government has accepted that is correct, and now we are going in the further steps in much advanced level of cleanup. We have told the Japanese we will stay clear, because cleaning up of other materials than gamma radiation enters in proliferation, and Keshe Foundation will not stand to be accused of being involved in proliferation of nuclear material. But at the same time, we have the technology, and the technology will be handed over to the Japanese on a direct one-to-one basis for the cleanup of the heavier metals and materials in the Fukushima. It's generally been accepted. The documents and the signing of agreements should be on its way today, tomorrow. And so we are officially involved by the invitation of through channels which has been specified by different governments in cleaning up the heavy materials from the reactors and the environment of the Fukushima. This development, once it's done, it brings a lot of good news to a lot of people around the world, which means we can use nuclear power stations freely without any worries of contamination or nuclear material release. What it does, it means once we finish with the reactors, we convert our material to a useful material. And this is a new high, deep and very intensive knowledge of the nuclear technology, but it can be done at the cost of few cents, which is the reach of every nation. This process is an asset to the Iranian nation that will be used simultaneously for the peace negotiations between Iran +5+1, where we can show we can produce non-nuclear and make nuclear materials safe after use, and there is no need for proliferation. That has been one of the biggest concerns with the American government and 5+1, and especially Israeli government, that Iran will enter nuclear proliferation and nuclear bomb. With this agreement today, we put an end to this fear, because we can change the tools of war, what they consider as a nuclear weapon and plutonium, to gold, and becomes a national asset of Iran and other nations. So With one move, we end with, in helping Japan, we end up the problem which sits at the moment with the negotiation between Iran 5+1. If there is any worries that we might enter into plutonium proliferation, we can show the material is for peaceful use and at the same time production of large quantity of gold. As I said to our Japanese colleagues online this morning, this gold is a national asset of their nation, and the process will be shared with them in how to do it. That does not touch the international market in evaluation of currency. They have understood the process is very clean. The knowledge is beyond the understanding of the present physics. But it costs a very few cents to change everything. Most of the nuclear materials test shows to be correct, to convert them into gold and platinum. In one way, we put the fears of war and misuse of nuclear materials for weapon technology aside. And with this agreement today, this ends up any suspicions or any problem with what was and is the fear of nuclear technology. That's it. As easy as you see in these cups, gold can be produced from the material which we have in our hand. I told the Japanese, every tank of Fukushima can lead, if it's processed the right way, to production of 0.5 ton of gold per tank. And now they have about 1,400 tanks sitting around Fukushima like trees, they call it. So it's a huge national asset for the nation. And out of disaster, they might be benefited by it. So tests will start immediately after New Year. We've agreed on the basis of it, and everything will be transparent to the Iranian government, to IAEA, to the American securities, to the Russians, to Japanese, and the Chinese. So all understand the process. We keep the Keshe Foundation very transparent in this regard, because it's very important that we don't get accused of proliferation. And as I said, we did not enter these negotiations initiated by the Office of the Prime Minister of Japan through the appropriate channels in Japan, and it's been taken 3 months, 4 months. They came here, they brought the waters from Fukushima, and in return they had the technology know-how, and now we've gone to the steps of literally going for direct testing the way we did with E. coli, as Elias says to me, bacteria. Once it's done, this most probably one of the most secret part of the process of the Keshe Foundation. Because if you reveal it how it's done, it can damage the gold market and exchange market and the, the financial market quite drastically. So we have to see what happens, but in a way, instead of now, if our colleagues in Iran are listening, which we know they do, we welcome you to the nuclear program, is that what was considered to be nuclear proliferation becomes a gold asset for the nation. And this puts an end to any unwanted or suspected movement by any nation in that regard. As some of you been awake most of the night, I know Eric has, and Rick was half asleep. We were here till about 1:30 this morning, and we have seen how smoothly you can land. The system is pushing itself down to the ground, and hopefully, as you know, I do not interfere in anything. I advise and I sit back because it has to be done by the knowledge seekers. Armand was very like a restless bird this week because he couldn't fly. So I said to him, if we decide to fly, we can fly. There is no time. It takes me 2 minutes in the lab, you fly, but it doesn't serve a purpose. It becomes a magic show. So that was the reason we showed him the course you've seen in Brazil and Namibia. That Flight is very easy. He's looking at me, sitting right across the table from me. So we can fly if Arman decides today. Every tool for it is there. You see in landing, the flight will be very easy. He will not fly through the roof. He will go back up very slowly back to his original position and above. You see the live showing of the lab downstairs. These kicks, these vibrations, are created from the interactions between the gravitational and magnetical field of the Earth and the plasma of the system. There is no need for such a move on such a continuous basis if there was not such a forces. Now the only thing is Arman's got to harvest it the reverse. And somehow he can't see it, and earlier driving down the road in the snow in Slovenia has seen it and sent a message, and Arman still can't see it. So we're gonna get Arman flying today, hopefully himself. Any questions?
Thank you for that, Mr. Keshe.
Yes, thank you. Is there any questions from your end there, Vince?
I see one person in here that I don't know if he's going to unmute or not. Did you fix your microphone yet?
Who's that?
Does his name start with L? Yeah.
L.
L. Lucien.
Mr. Lucian.
We were discussing his microphone issues earlier.
Maybe
so now he's
don't want him to be heard.
Now he's a little microphone shy, I think.
Maybe it's not CNN newsworthy, that's why.
Can we hear from Lucien? Is that what's up here?
I don't know. I haven't seen him unmute, so maybe we should just continue until he fixes his issue. His computer's probably running at 100%, as he calls it.
He says, Mr. Keshe, are you able to read the chat? Yes. Is the SXX19 Lucien on the chat?
No, I don't believe so.
He'll probably ask his question there, I guess, because it'll be a bit of a delay on the live stream.
I don't know what's the password for this. How do we log in? My name is Sinan, so this must be from China, I hope. We can't type in, we don't know how to access the chat. I've seen yesterday something interesting. I would love to hear from to take on it. Yeah. A bit off topic though. Okay, what is off topic?
It's hard to imagine something that could be off topic here, but
no German, root Turkish. Okay. Oh, we thought he was Japan, China. Yeah, he's in Sinan. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you can hear me. Put your question down or go through live chat and.
no, they can't copy paste the link there. You would have to put it in with the brackets around the .com sort of thing. So
I don't know. Let us simply don't know. You can read it, Rick. I don't know what it is. Yeah. The reactor number 4 is very unstable. You've seen it. Is that the bearing loose? You better stop the reactor, seal it. Because if you fly, it's going to fly off when it takes your motor with it. This is a loose vibration. It's not going to hold your plasma. You're going to lose condition with this. It is very dangerous. Yes, downstairs we open the lock. We have to open this for, because I can see it here. Have a look. Come and have a look here. This has become that loose reactor vibration. It's not holding for the plasma to stay steady. It's
right,
like,
yeah, we were wondering about that, commenting on that earlier, that would be the effect, that it might alter the, you were saying before, like if there's any vibration or shaking, it should be solidified so it's not taking out the energy of the plasma or diluting it.
He wants us to look at this link. Where do we look at this link? Piblot. Play. Let's see if we can check it ourselves. We're gonna. No, there is a problem here because I saw this a couple of days ago, and this is this is causing problem. These dots you have to change here. Okay, we are trying to link up with the link as you sent. Dot.
I think what I just did a quick look on it, and it's about the invisible shield that they call it in between the Van Allen belts, and how it was created. Can you? I think that's part of the
we've seen this
magnetic boundary, right?
This Van Allen belt has a meaningless terminology which is coming to the language. You see, this is not a shield. This is understanding the structure of the working of physical matter in the environment of the plasmatic condition. What does this mean? In fact, what now they're trying to tell us, scientists have discovered something truly remarkable about Earth. Shield what developed. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm just reading you. I'm just reading you from the text.
Altogether.
Yeah. So what it is, this is not understanding the principle of the working of the entities in the matter in the environment of plasma. What they call this shield, this is another what you call magnetosphere, which is around partially, not the whole of the Earth, and this is very much extended version of the ring of Saturn. These kind of magnetic fields, bands or bandwidths, are the attributes of mixture composite reactors. When you have a solid gas states and you have a solid gas and gas state, which the Earth is a composition of, you get these what you call magnetic field spheres or rings around these entities. I have explained this in detail in the book number 4. So what happened is these kind of what you see as magnetic belts is the attribute of gaseous planets. And as Earth has a gaseous belt of few kilometers, let's 30, 40, 50 kilometers above Earth, and there are some gaseous layers within the structure of the Earth itself, which is, we know we extract some of it, like the gases we use in, for our daily life heating. Their interaction, because of their dynamism with the gravitational magnetic field of the center of the Earth, create these kind of what you call magnetic belts, or what they are trying now to say is a shielding. This is one of the interactions of what you call gaseous matter inertia, which is magnetic gravitational field based, with the solid gas, what do you call it, atoms of the inner part of the core of the Earth, which create the magnetical and gravitational field of the Earth. The field of the Earth doesn't stop the boundaries, just 60, 100 kilometers above the Earth. It goes directly to the Sun and even into the galaxy, even how small it can be. So the shielding is not a shielding, it's literally another ring of Saturn in the same direction. And at the same time, these shieldings in interaction with a gravitational magnetic field of the Sun create their own presence or manifest themselves in this pattern. We understand this fully, and if you look at the rings of the Saturn, they are kind of shielding, but the structure is very much restricted by the original core of the Saturn. And this is attributes of all the gaseous planets and plasmatic planets. When we go out of the solar system, we'll see this in respect to the plasma of the Sun, or our solar system, in respect to the other systems within the galaxy. But in a larger scale, and in wanting to cross the galaxy, we have to go through these belts, to these magnetic field density interactions. The thickness is measured by the thickness of the gaseous layers, or usually it's hydrogen or helium. We can define that these are exactly ring of Saturns, but due to the composite mixture of the matters in the center cores of the Earth, this ring is created 7,000 miles away. You've seen the rings of Saturn are created tens of thousands of kilometers away from Saturn itself. These are attributes of the composite mixture, planetary solid state gas, in respect to themselves and nothing else. This shield is not created mainly by the interaction. It's an internal interaction between the Earth and its gaseous layers, and then it becomes a field itself. And as it faces the fields of the Sun, now you have an interaction between this field and the fields of the Sun, so it looks like shielding. It's very much as we see in the ring of Saturns. Each ring, as it gets closer, absorbs and holds a smaller ice, what do you call it, objects. If the scientists look deeper into this layer, they should be able to see some solid matters too. But because it's closer on the Sun direction, it immediately evaporates or dissolves back into plasma. So there's nothing new. We should see the same kind of shielding at about the same distance between the Earth and the Moon too. Because this is a spherical shape. It's not just because it's on the direction of the Sun. But in the direction of the Sun, we see it, and actually it should be several of them, it's not one. Because on Earth we have a composite gases, and each gas, we have a composite internal layer. So each layer in interaction with the gas inertia, gravitational magnetic field, creates these layers. So They haven't found anything new. Now they just add to already. They knew they could see it with Saturn, but they can't understand it with the Earth. Now we understand what it is and we see it. You will see this as part of the structure of the plasma systems too. All the stars have these kind of shielding. And the shielding comes from the composite layers and the gravitational magnetic fields which is in the environment created by other entities. Something which I refer this again back to book number 4, I have explained this before. The light of the sun does not come from the sun itself inside. The light we see on the surface of the sun comes from the interaction of the fields which have reduced in strength to become matter or near matter condition or a plasmatic matter condition, that their interaction with the gravitational magnetical field of the center of the sun creates light on the surface of the sun. The heat of the sun has literally nothing to do with the burning or fusion or fission. The light from the sun on the surface of the sun is purely the same process as we have the light on Earth. It's the interaction between gravitational magnetical field of the Earth and gravitational magnetic field of the sun. We get the daylight. On the surface of the stars, the light is created in a different way, but exactly the same process, which is the gravitational magnetic field of the center of the planet as it radiates out. On the surface, where the field have reduced in the strength to become plasma matter state, in the interaction between the plasma's gravitational magnetic field and the planet or the star's gravitational magnetic field, we get the light created. Exactly the same process. It's not as you get, this is the wrong assumption in the world of physics at the moment. The way it's explained is like when you have fire and you see the light from the fire. Actually, if the scientists understand a deeper process of this, a sun in a given position, a star in a given position, with the color it creates, it gives the future, what you call captains of the space, in what composition the star is made of and what they have to tune their reactors to be able to move near it or even cross through it. So we see the color of the sun just because, or we see the lights on the surface of the sun purely because of the interaction between the plasmas on the surface and the gravitational magnetic field from the center. Is created by itself through the same process on the surface. So now for the first time we understand the creation of light. And I'll explain this in the light, in the second book. So when you have a plasma, which itself, the light of it is created from interaction of the two plasmas, magnetic gravitational fields, now you release residual, and sometimes when the residual is too high and the interaction is too high, you get what you call the sun flares. You cascade it, you get a darker spot, the field absorbs like nanomaterial all the lights from the surface and from above. We explain it as a darker spots on the sun. And then this due to the dynamism of the gravitational magnetic fields of the internal structure of the sun, this field, one of them moves. Now whatever has been held inside this cascade of magnetic gravitational field is released. So you get it as flares. This is exact copy of what we saw in the lab, where the fields were holding and then suddenly they released themselves. And we had up to 129 Tesla without any material, and they say that the equipment is wrong and that. These people don't understand the process. Now, for the first time, maybe you can understand the relationship between the Tesla which was created here in the lab, and with some flares, which now in this picture we see they try to conduct it that there is a magnetic shielding 7,000 kilometers away. That flare which comes from the sun is purely created by the interaction of the gravitational magnetic fields between the matters on the surface in the plasma condition and the gravitational magnetic field of the center of the star. When they are in a condition of a balance in layers, they create like a nano layer, so they absorb all the lights. They absorb all the energies. There is no friction, and whatever it is held. And as the surface is dynamic, and as the internal structure of the sun is a constant flow, these fields move away due to the dynamism, and then whatever has been held in there, it has to be released and become sun flare. In one way, you should be able to understand why we get massive sun flares every 11.5 years when the polarity changes on the sun. The polarity changes. When the polarity changes, the gravitational magnetic field from the center is become in rotation to move. And in that process, it creates different fields which interact with the plasma surface on the top, which are like nano layers. So this leads to storage or holding of and absorbing of all the fields. That's why it becomes black. The blackness in nano layers is due to absorption of the spectrum of the lights or all the energies. So now all the energies are kept, and as the internal core moves for polarity to change, then the fields move, and then the energy which is captured in this shield is released, and we call it sun flares. Now we understand the full process of sun flares and why we get dark spots on the surface of the sun during the change of polarities, and we get frightened of it and we say it's going to be huge activities. The only reason for it is at the time of polarity change every 11.5 years, due to monomaterial of the plasma internally of the star, the interaction between different fields on the surface and inside leads to creation of a very much plasmatic nano layers which absorb all the energies of the man's spectrum vision light, which looks to us dark. And as the fields move over each other, as the internal gravitational magnetic field is in motion, then whatever is captured in this capsule is released, and because it's in the matter state and on the surface, it gets pushed outward due to the high gravitational magnetic field of the sun itself, and becomes a sun flare. We understand this process fully, and if it's a little bit difficult, just go back on the nano layers. If you remember, if you push a nano layer, you see high discharges as a current. This is the same process. You crush the layers, or you move a layer. Now you open the pressure cooker, whatever is in it explodes outwardly. The process of creation of darker spots on the sun, the creation of what you call black ring of the Saturn, the creation of these belts, as they say they have discovered, is all due to one process only, and that's the interaction and creation of the condition of the absorption of all the lights within that nano layer. In fact, the ring of Saturn is a nano layer. Wherever there's a dark belts are, that is where the fields from one layer internally on the surface of the inner structure of the Saturn is changing and is in balance. So it creates the rings, and gaseous rings are part of attributes of the plasmatic condition. So with this picture, you can understand exactly. We are still trying to explain things the way it could not be understood. Now we understand. This is a gaseous belt ring. It's attributes of the planet Earth due to upper gas layers of the Earth itself. And most probably this ring is created by the interaction of the Earth gravitational magnetic field from the center and the nitrogen layers on the upper atmosphere, which reflects itself out that way. We call it a shielding, but it's actually interaction in reverse. This is what Arman is trying to achieve, and he cannot, because he hasn't understood the concept. Because if you can do this, you can put your shielding without doing anything outside the system. And then you can float. And then you create a closed bracket. I looked at the animation which is going on, I've seen shown by Rick a couple of times this week, where the field go inside and then suddenly explode outside. This is exactly what this is. But because the Earth gravitational magnetic field is stronger than the plasmatic, the free plasma is created in the outer boundary. This is how you create your shielding in your space technology. And you dictate which side the shielding is going to be more, if it's in the direction of motion or if you're submerging. Now you know what you got to do, Arman, I think. Yeah. You see, the field, it's the pattern of the work of the field. You expect to see everything inside, but the plasma penetrates beyond and it works outside. This is exactly what we call the ring of the gaseous planet and plasmatic conditioned planet. Thank you very much for this link. It allows to explain a lot of things, and a lot of cosmophysicists now they're going to scratch their head because they do not understand these processes, so they come up with different things. Have you attempted to replace the standard model with the Keshe model for better understanding? It's very hard. Keshe doesn't know what he's talking about apparently, so it's very hard to do it. You're welcome. Any other question? This is in reverse.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions to go to meeting.
Yeah. Wins.
Sure, go ahead.
These rings, which now you see it as a shielding, these are due to magnetical effect interaction. The same thing has a gravitational effect, which creates what you call the hollow earth theory, or what we've seen with Vince's, where we see like a ball in the center. The ball in the center of Vince's reactor is due to the same properties, but through gravitational fields, and the ring outside is through the magnetical, because the gaseous rings or gaseous material reflect their fields in the outer boundary, not in the center. This is the difference between the gas and the matter, which world of physics has no clue about. In a matter state, the plasmatic condition plays in the center. In the gaseous system, in the gases, the same thing is played at the boundary. So the boundary can take any shape, but it still keeps the same characteristics. Does not matter how big the area is or the environment it has to cover. You can cover with one atom of gas the whole of the solar system, and it still have the same property. Okay, the question.
Yeah. Okay. Just you can hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead there, Vince.
Okay. So I got two questions. One's from MJ. It is, what is the role of the two aluminum reactors on the outside of the Starship formation?
We are encouraging field flow. We are in the universal system. You have to work with tunity. If you don't have tunity, it's very hard to sustain, because all your fields will go somewhere else. So we try to put a second reactor. It can be a star formation as a second reactor. We done it in the old lab. in another lab, that you can confine the fields, and the fields can be shared with the plasma which is created in the center of the star formation. It's actually that little aluminium reactor is like an electron to a proton. That's all its function is. It rotates there, that it confines any field losses from the set or from the plasma internally is returned back to it, because it has the magnetic gravitational field link with it. It carries the same composition as the cores. If you look on the further top right left hand side, you see a second one prepared by Arman yesterday to go in. Once we know that we have completed, yeah, there it is, just on the top you see a shiny ball. Just go above, you see, if you can see it, on the top of the left hand reactor at the bottom, immediately above it you see a silver shining. On the top, go up, 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 you see it. That is the other reactor, which is standby. It hasn't started yet. Have you put CO2 in that standing up one? No, it's still empty. So once that silver shining is loaded, then Arman is going to bring it to the parallel level and see if we can achieve lift. That aluminium core hanging on the left on the top, this is very much like a Da Vinci picture we saw from Lucien last time. Now he can see his creation in action. Arman is giving me one of those looks. Are we gonna fly today? You have everything. You landed. Now you gotta take off, otherwise you're gonna sink. You have to sort out reactor number 4 on the left hand side. It's unstable. It's not gonna let your plasma to be concentrated. Every time it goes under pressure, it bubbles, it releases it.
We did have a question in the live stream regarding whether Arman could use his key to attain lift. You'd have to explain to folks that don't know about Arman's key. That's
Arman has several keys. He's a very rich man. He has too many properties. So he has one key which is a spherical. He has one key which is cylindrical. Marko has the same. He says, what about mine? But they are both, but they have to understand how to use the key. It's the wrong house, you can't get in. So
he has the keys to the kingdom, but he has to turn the light on to find them, I guess.
Unfortunately. But the system is ready for lift anytime they wish, but they have to do it themselves. As I said, the floor in the lab is full of skids mark. The system is pushing down. Good morning.
It'd be nice to see some marks on the ceiling. How about some skid marks on the ceiling?
This way, when it happens to the ceiling, you put your hand on your head and you run out of the building and wish everything stays the same.
Well, if we could get that all on video, I'm sure it would go viral.
No, because usually your camera is pinpointed to one place. You see.
Probably the camera will stop broadcasting at that moment, anyways, so we wouldn't capture it.
No, what happened? You see now the reactors are running. The radiation field in plasmatic level is very high in the lab, but it doesn't touch the electronic system because it's like neutrinos. It just goes through them. So these reactors are extremely active, and if they decide to move, they move. I explained last night when we were all watching this rattling of the cage, you see it moving. You got to realize this is a nearly 13 kilogram structure, and is holding in different heights. It's not 1 or 2 grams. So because we try to make a counterbalance for it, it's around about 13 kilo. So it's a lot of power, it's a lot of energy sitting in these little reactors that they can create. There are no air disposition, there is no vibration that we can say can change. Armin, you have a problem? You check on reactor number 4, there is something happening on it. The one on the left hand side, yeah. You better check. I think the field forces will force it out or it will break through. It comes to a halt, it's vibrating. Any other question?
What do you have there at the go-to meeting, Vince?
Yeah, we do have one more question from... Yeah, we do have one more question from Brett. And it is, what about underneath or above a star formation, you put a spiral galaxy formation of reactors?
Pardon?
What about underneath or above the star formation, you put a spiral galaxy formation of reactors? I don't know how many reactors a spiral galaxy formation would be.
He must have had a very good dream, but let's see what the dream is. There is a need for field protection, which we use additional up to 8 reactors on the boundary rotation for production of materials. And this is not a problem. So we can produce fields in any direction, but Armin has to decide on the floating of it.
It's perfect, okay? It's camera.
Is it camera?
Yeah.
Oh, they say there is nothing wrong with the patient, it's perfect. So the camera freezes, no problem. No, there is you can't do anything. You only need an interaction above to be stronger than below, Mr. Arman. Then you fly today. I cannot tell you in any other shape or form what you got to do. You have to create a field interaction above or on the side to fly sideways or internally. I'll give you a clue. What is the color of black? What's the color of black? You know what we got to do.
I love that answer.
This is live Spaceship Institute training process here of the knowledge seekers.
You cannot put everything on the table. There are certain things has to be done, and we'll see what happens. But we have the condition. The text from Elia was very direct, so I'm just a translator trying to explain it in a different way. But if now that we have a stronger gravitational magnetic field at the bottom, which has called the pull of the system downwards, all we need to do is to create one above it, and then it'll go the other way around, and we fly by tonight. But still we are at the... Marko has a very strange look on him. What have I got to do now? But it says, can you put Marko's reactor system underneath and complete the control? I think you're far out. You have to go and understand the other part of it. It should be actually above it, and secondly, we can't get Marko's reactor, is too big. It's the size of a football. You got two choices. Produce a field above stronger than the plasmatic magnetic field in the center to be pulled up, or you create a field of the gravitational field to literally change into magnetical field. This can be done and the system will jump. Most probably understanding the time of the day, the curvature of the Earth planet. We will see it in Washington, DC, or maybe in Vancouver within a matter of few minutes. We understand, Armin? It's very, very easy to do.
So I guess watch out for falling platforms.
Pardon?
I said, I guess watch out for falling platforms instead of falling balls in those areas.
Yeah, in a way, you have little bits, you know, everywhere. So you have two choices. I have to push my Armin to fly before he leaves tomorrow, at least go up a little bit, I'll go happy man. But he's looking at me, what is going on? He says, if I'm flying full force. He says, the little things doesn't make him happy. The little things are for little people. It says, wear a nano-coated suit, Armand, when you're flying. This is how it is. You can teach science with pleasure and work with it, and you can teach in a harsher way and never understand it. But you see, the structure it wants to fly. This is the flight vibration. I know it well, but somehow we are breaking than actually taking off. And I'm not going to do anything about it till Armand does it himself. But we landed very smoothly over 4 hours, more than 4 hours last night, and should be able to take off within seconds. Any other question?
Just to be clear, so Armin said that the number 4 reactor is operating properly, and the wobble that we see is just to do with the camera and the color?
Marko and Armin checked it very quickly, and it's a unanimous verdict. It looks perfect. It's working perfectly. But it's wobbling. Okay. You can see it, yeah. There are a couple of things we're talking in this section for, as we say, for the door, we talk to the door for the wall to hear. And as we announced in the other programs over the week with the Spanish or with the children, and that is the new kit, CO2 kit, will be released in the coming couple of weeks, hopefully, if our Chinese colleagues can finish it. It looks very nice, very compact, and you can order it directly from the website, or it depends, they're going to put it on Alibaba and the rest, and any other channels. If you want to promote the CO2 kit for your country, the price has been agreed. The new price for the new system will be at just about $10. Where at the moment we are putting the kits at €35. The new kits from China will be at literally, it's not this complicated. We will show the pictures. If you are buying or trying to promote to buy for your country as a whole, that proceeds goes back to the foundation. You contact us or contact the Keshe Foundation manufacturing side in China, and most probably we'll come to an agreement for what do you call it, for repatriation of funds to the country, to the Keshe Foundation of that country. This what it means. You don't need to ship things to your country and then sit and sell. You can sell on through your links. It's got to be set up somehow that your country gets benefited by the kits and by the sales of the kits in development of the new research establishments or in each country. At the same time, the share of the Keshe Foundation as our ethos will go back in paying to the company for production of the units to be given freely across the world. what this means, because we have collaborators which run the operation. There is a cost of operation. What comes to us, let's say if $1 comes to the foundation as a profit of the Keshe Foundation for 1 unit, that $1 will go back to the company at a cost that the other side makes their profit too, plus the expenses of the producing it, and these units will be given freely across the world to the people of the poor people. We have to establish a link through the Keshe Foundations in Africa, in South America, even in Europe, that they can receive these units according to their financial capabilities, through the understanding of the work of the soul of the man. So if they lie, they receive the system, but they will see no benefit from it. Because after this, the CO2 kits, comes the delivery of the energy units which uses the kits, or the use of the material which we produce by the kits for decontamination of the water. So there is an immediate use in the third world nations, like we know one of our colleagues in China is from Haiti. Most probably with the first contributions from this material, because they've been in forefront of actually setting up the things. The free units will find its way to Haiti for the contamination of the water for the bacteria of E. coli bacteria, which is a big problem there at the moment. So the families can have a clean water. It'll go with the instruction, and will cover the same kind of work in Africa and in China. So we expect whatever you buy, or you can go at the Keshe Foundation, still pay €35 per unit, which the funds from these 35 has been used for different aspects of the foundation work. This has been one of the strengths of us. We take what we need, and the surplus goes into the work. Now these energy units, free energy units, free CO2 units will go to the third world nations, or where we can make an immediate effect in saving lives. And most probably create of energy. On the other hand, I have warned clearly on the different aspects of the use of this material, how it can be used for different applications. I read a note here. In the children's workshop, the calibration process was explained, I think. We did not explain the calibration process. In the children program, I explained that we are in touch with scientists in France. They've been here this week, and they say the professor tells us that he has managed to calibrate plasmas in one shape or another, and Elia has spoken to him, and in the new year they'll come together to be able to find a way, if he's managed to do the processing of calibration of plasma, and we can use the knowledge to do the calibration of the GANs of the materials. And at the same time we have our Italian people who can write the programs and the software and the hardware for it to be done as a tool. So most probably next year we'll see systems which does these calibrations and can be done. But there's a lot of work in the background. Soon we should be able to say what material, what it is, due to the surface gravitational magnetic field strength. So not only we are developing it, we're trying to find the tools to measure it, because we need it for the space technology too. It says, ever try to put the scene into mathematical equation? Yes, if you like, you can do it with pleasure. We need mathematicians to do it.
That can bring me to the point of in the plasma reactor group, I think it was today. Let me try to find which one it is.
Do people go
Yes,
to sleep? These guys
no,
are
we never
always...
sleep, Mr. Keshe. Too much work to be done. There's no time for sleep. So we have a question from Emmanuel. Sorry, I just got some feedback. Everything okay?
Yeah, we got the feedback.
Okay. It says, has anyone tried experimenting with GANs while there's already made material of a different type?
What do you mean by that?
I think it explains it in the next part of it. And it says, based on current theory with the CO2 plasma in the water, the reaction balanced gradients weakens to CH4. The zinc dissolves and lessens in totality. The iron is exposed, which has a stronger neutral magnetic pull close enough to the copper nano. This is from Emmanuel. I have observed how these materials and mix with one another and merge together over time. My question is, if I add this material to a cell at the right time and at the right quantity, can I manipulate the balance for a lower elemental strength?
You can play. If you cannot lower it, use the GAN's dynamic condition near it to create the environment you want to reach the material you want to produce. There is a next step in the gain of knowledge in this process, which has to come naturally. And I've explained it, but people don't understand in how it works. Is that in the plasma technology, you have addition and subtraction and multiplication. And once the scientists understand this process, then we go into a different dimension of work of the science. What does it mean? You can create a condition of mixture of plasmas and put another reactor of the specific plasma strength you want for its field to be added to your mixture or taken off from mixture to produce a matter you need. Or even cause the matter, the plasma to behave from the GANS state into the matter state. This is very, very fundamental. If this is what it's the next step. As I said to you, in the world of plasma technology, in the GANS state, you have not even stood up to walk. The next step in the future, or if people can understand it, is you have a mixture of the gravitational magnetic field strength in your reactor or in your pot. Let's put it this way. You put a laser beam or a laser machine or a light outside to change the characteristics of your material. Do the same thing by adding a GANS outside or a GANS electrode outside, or what we call nano layers, in a specific form to change the condition of the GANS to behave as a matter, and then when you need it, it will behave as a GANS. And if this is very hard to comprehend, look at the structure of your own body. The condition of the environment outside within the atmosphere of the earth allows your body to be physically, even as a GANS, to manifest itself as a matter, carry orders, do things, and sleep and wake up. You can do the same thing in your reactors, in your containers. You can add materials, but if you are looking for a material to behave as a matter, to give you certain properties, start learning to add, to subtract, or multiple of reactors outside the parameter. The world of plasma technology works on the condition created, not the material added. And the condition is created due to increase, decrease, positioning of gravitational magnetic field in respect to the matter or the position you're working on. This is extremely easy to understand, but fundamentally hard to grasp. The body of man, if you leave
Okay,
it,
so
it's a
this
bunch
brings
of
me to the
gases.
second part, because...
Okay, what's your second part?
Sorry about the delay.
Go on,
The next part is a part of calculations that he's trying to determine, and so that is based on my calculations, Cu nano and zinc electrodes. So the Cu nano and zinc electrodes equal the CO2 GaNs. The Cu nano and CO2 should equal CH4. CO2 and CH4 should equal CH3. CH4 and CH3 should equal, he says, 14 as a plasma total. And only hydrogen can fit in 14 from these sources. He has H8, H9 GaNs.
Congratulations.
Is he on the right track? Okay, fantastic. Because we've been talking about this before, and I was expecting Emmanuel to be able to explain it like this, and this is great because I think I understand this. So what I can see from these equations is that
Yeah, but change the equations into reality.
Right, a Cu nano and CO2 would be the environment that you create inside the bucket, not just the Cu and the CO2 as an electrode.
Hallelujah.
Thank you.
Good morning. Now you have to go back to create that environment that allows you to do this. You've seen this exactly in the structure with the working of explanation of Dr. Elia last week. It means he understood what our what you call it, doctor was trying to explain about the structure of the eye. In the structure of the eye, you have a copper oxide, but because you have brought it to the condition of nano layering on the CO2 on the outside, copper oxide inside, and you have managed to put an amino acid which has a high potential difference in CH3 in conjunction with what you call plating, exactly like a leaf, to create high power conformation and conversion of energy into information and immediate transfer of the information to the brain to understand the emotion. There is no difference between the layers of the eye, as Dr. Elia explained on our last Friday, and the structure of the leaf, which I explained, which absorbs CO2 only, and the CO2 kits which you have received. Look what you have in your hand. A nano copper oxide, the inner layer of the eye. You have the salt and the water. On the outside, but because it's a ball, it behaves as unity externally. So the eye is inside out if you look at it. It's the earth inside out. And then you have the back of the leaf or your zinc plate on the back side, which is the CO2 layer. It's the order which is set and the computer is added to, it transfers the light, the energy of the light, the energy of what comes through the peeping hole of the body into images and emotion. Now, if you understand that, you should be able to make reactors which are emotionally dependent and you can reach the soul of the man. And this is what we said to our American colleagues in the American military. Talk to us, we can change the structure of the wars back to peaceful. People won't even remember how they carry gun. I think this can be passed on to our American colleagues in the American military. No man will remember why he's carrying guns for. If you understand the structure and understand how the magnetical gravitational frequency, as you like to call it, of a given structure affects the emotion of the man. So, congratulations. If you can put what you speak and what you write as words into practicality, you have entered the world of creation in a small way. As I said to Dr. Elia, the knowledge you gain or you bring on the table, any of you, is no competition to me, is an asset to us. I only open the books when you are ready to understand. I carry the knowledge of the universe. It depends how the intelligence of the man in front of me is. I speak to a child in the child language and the professor in the professor language. And the aliens, as Elia said, aliens language. But when I speak to a cross section that everybody receives the knowledge in different form as they understand and they can apply it. If you understand the structure of the eye, if you understand the working of the structure of the eye, and you can allow it to transfer the knowledge to which the body does, you see a beautiful flower. Flower has no language, has no voice, does not cry, but you look at it and you see what a beautiful, and that emotion of the beauty of the flower is received by your soul, and you rejoice. Now maybe you understand how easy it is to reach the heart of the man. Understand the structure, you have read the emotion, and then through it you reach the soul of the man. This is how slowly we open the book. You go that far, I don't tell you you're wrong, blah blah blah, to hide. No, you don't. You have understood it. Congratulations, the way I said to Vince a few weeks ago, but extend the knowledge. Next question.
Okay, thank you once again, Mr. Keshe. What else do we have? Is there any questions on the live stream?
You know, every time I see this picture, it reminds me of D2. What do you call it? The Star Wars
R2D2.
Yeah, yeah, R2D2. You have that car race. They chase each other in the mountains. One of the cars has such a thing in front of it running.
And also, it's the old hot rods had a similar logos back in the 50s and 60s and even into the 70s, I think.
This is running in front, not in the back. Okay. Any other question?
I don't see anything else on live stream. Do you see anything else anywhere else, Rick? Anything from anybody on email?
I just have a thing from Brett. He says he has to go now. I don't know if he means this as a public notice, but John Paul
he's been in and out.
Has access to the electron microscope and will be doing analysis with it for the nanomaterials. So if Keshe wants anything analyzed, let me know. I'll call him later. That's your secret message from Brett.
Yeah, he is busy with the professors. He was here, he's gone with them, he's coming back to us in the next few days. What do you call it? Well, they're trying to add to the knowledge if they can measure the what do you call it, the field of the GANs with the Professor Summer, that we see what data we can add to the knowledge. Maybe, as you know, Brad is a link between the American military and the Keshe Foundation, as a lot of you have found out by now. We are trying to make efforts that we can bring this into a peaceful application through his connection, and I thank him for his effort. We have to see what the next step is and what the Americans want to do in using the technology. Thank you very much for your hard work, Brad.
We have, there's one last question maybe, or one question at least, on the live stream is, what does Armin have to do with the current star formation to make it fly? Is it a physical or non-physical thing that has to happen, or both?
He's gonna answer you himself. He says no. It's a bit of both. It's a bit of both, but in a very little. He has to do very little. If he does very little, he'll go home happy man. He'll go home as a Father Christmas. But you got to understand, the knowledge we sit here doesn't go with Arman only. It goes with all the knowledge seekers. The knowledge is gathered totally by the different sessions like this. That it's as we collectively achieved landing last night is the asset to human race. And the same, the takeoff when it comes is the asset to human race on the other hand. With the way we set the technology up and it's been going, we don't have any more Teslas or Edisons and Einsteins. It's collectively human race does it as one. Today when I was speaking regarding the Japanese condition with the government people, it's shocking to them because everything has patents, everything has control. And I said, our labs are open, you can come and the other bits, we give you the rest of it. And we expect the same openness from you. This is a shock to them because with closeness and closed looping, they make money. They don't know how to make money this way. So even what we achieve and what we do is collectively for all the people around in how it's been set up and how things are happening. It's not that one individual has achieved this totality with different things that we have achieved where we stand now. The landing last night with one leg limping and the other legs landing about 3-4 hours later is a huge breakthrough for the human race. As I put on, we welcome man to the universal community. Taking off is not that big problem. The biggest problem is landing, and now we know how to land. And we have landed. In the future, the video of what we seen last night, one leg coming down, is as important as when the man landed on the moon. But this time without burning a single fuel or damaging anything in the environment. The changes are fundamental, but it's done, and this is what we set out to do. It's done by the people, amongst the people, within the people, that no race or color have superiority of the others. We'll see if we fly today, but there'll be no contribution from me, unfortunately. Sorry, Armin. But you're that close. He looks away like a shy girls.
Well, I heard a very big clue there, so I think I'll be taking that into consideration here in the next couple of days.
Would you like to advise him? Be open. Listen, he says he found a clue. Let's see what it is. Maybe you can find a clue with a glue and then we go. What is your clue?
Well, to have a separate formation or a separate reactor, of course, but that make it a stronger field and let the system be attracted to that field instead of the Earth.
Bravo, but we already have it, and we had the same message from Her Majesty Dr. Elia on the way driving. We know, but we
Change
don't know
the position of the reactor, Jarman.
Bravo. Oh, he knows, but he doesn't know how to do it. Yeah, from today it's yours. Yes, finish. We landed. Now you can take off. Please don't crash. And the other thing is, please, when you see it start moving, run out, because it's happened to me. When it hits the ceiling, you get a lot of what do you call it, rubbish on top of you. You don't want to land on Mars. Don't hang yourself on it. Can you explain this to Armin? What do you see? It's in more detail.
Go ahead.
Well, I would say lift that other reactor up before or above the equator, or at least above the other reactor. I would say also move the other reactor up a little bit to not push the plasma so far down, and have the other reactor up above the entire formation. I don't think it matters if it's off to the side there, as long as it's above the formation.
It has to be off to the side. But the thing is, we have to take one of the reactors out of the place. You can't have two reactors. It becomes schizophrenic. They won't know which way to go. We'll see how he decides. It's yours. Goodbye. Good day. You can go and fly us. We'll watch you when you fly. We are live.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long.
You see, it says
as soon as you move that, it should start to react as soon as that other reactor is moved. Should it not?
I have a better. You do whatever you like. You can, but I'll give you an idea before you go. Instead of going and trying to build a field, maybe you can ask the guy next to you nicely. He can use his reactor to hang there. I have
that small reactor which running almost.
That's not powerful enough, otherwise it would actually. Yeah, but you have already very powerful shown it flies, huh? Da, 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 da. Two hands does a lot of good things.
Is he running?
No, he's stuck to the table. You can't clap with one hand. Maybe if you put the two reactors together in the right position, you will get a response, and it stop breaking up the system. This system is bashing itself on the ground. There's a lot of skid mark on the floor. Black skid mark. I think you got to start making.
He wants to go lower, Armin.
He wants to fly, but it doesn't get the permission from the captain.
Could flip it upside down at this point. I think.
No, it won't change. No, it will not change. It's the imaginary, what they call it, the free plasma, has dictated the position in respect to Earth. You have to peel it off.
Yeah.
And the only time it peels off is when it jumps up. You don't peel it when it's on the ground. For a nanosecond, it separates, and if you create a field that's strong enough, you can pull it to the side. And pulling it to the side, it touches from the what do you call it, from the Earth gravitational magnetic field, and then you can pull it up. It'll go up on its own. I can't give you any better hint. Come on, it's yours. We should see the legs of Armin on the floor of the lab in a few minutes. No, he's in a hurry. Go. He's a 7-month-born child. It should be done now. Go, it's okay. We wait. He's a very impatient boy. Come on, Marwan. Go. You know what you got to do. And if you go to my lab and pinch a reactor which is floating, it might help you better, faster. Because don't forget, you have to be going this way if you like. Huh? Don't go this way. Rotate the field in the direction of the flow. Let's see if we can fly today. He says we got the permission from the captain. Yeah, he's going to fly. Poor Armin. The world is on his shoulder. Oh, it's not on his shoulder. It's all of us. We carry it through. It's just that when it's done by a man collectively, then there is nobody to destroy. We can show the lift system immediately, but then none of us will going to be here. Yes, they are all running in the same direction except the top, which is going the reverse. Because it's upside down, the plasma will go up through it. In the right direction. The direction of the flow of a plasma is with the detector, we are monitoring it. We know exactly how it is and how it does. You see, the platform is shaking, is free. And this is what we call the vibration field. Yes, please send your souls to the reactors. You can help him that way. Any other questions?
I just wanted to maybe briefly bring up the cups of life that you showed in the Chinese workshop. Or would you prefer not to talk about that right now?
Oh no, because we removed them back to the other building. Do you want to
I've
chat
got
among yourselves? Oh yes, you got the videos. You videoed
I've got a
it. Yes,
picture of it. Yeah, I can show just
yes.
the video of
And you have the
yesterday.
video of it. Yes, yes. If you do, it'll be very nice.
And then we can maybe that's something you'd like to talk about more in the health workshop, even on Friday, and we could sort of set that up now. I can play.
Yeah, it's coming up. This is the picture of the Cup of Lives. It's a triple star formation, quadruple star formation. It carries all the assets and facets of creation. It has been set and is set in a specific formation. As you see, if you remove, how you get a star formation. That's 4 reactors, removing 5 cups from the set. That is 1 star formation. And you can do this in different combinations with different cups. As I explained, when you make the cup of life, the first time before you use it, you try to put it out in the rain, where from the rain it absorbs all the field strength which are within the universe. You see, now I changed the combination. Now you have a different combination. But when you have the 8 together and 1 in the center as the 9th, all field spectrums within the universe are absorbed and is held. So what I do usually is that I put the cups of life for the first time before they are used in the rain. As I said, the rain carries all the energies of every drop of rain carries the spectrum of the energies which are in the atmosphere of the earth and what is in the universe. Then that becomes tuned to the layers which we are using. These cups in the coming month in January will be available through the Keshe Foundation. The Keshe Foundation China will put these on offer. You can buy them. With the use of them is it's for your own decision. Because these cups, even breathing from them, has the same capacity in effect as drinking from them. So you have to be very careful in what you do. Touching them originally locks your body to the system, and this is how we have overcome a lot of problem with the poisoning which we had here in this house. The different formation gives you different strength, and in so many ways how you set the cups dictates the state of the emotion and physicality of the man. So in one house the whole family can use the cups. From these cups you don't drink only, you breathe, and from these cups you receive the emotional pattern of the environment. If you look at it, and as I said this before, when you touch these cups, goes back the teaching of blessed name Christ. This is my body, this is my blood. You're all carried in the same container. Because you receive the totality of the energy and the information within the universe. And as we know, Christ is Son of God, so he carries the totality of it. When he gives you his blood and his body, it means all the information in the tangible and non-tangible dimensions of the universe. Blood is connection to the emotions, and emotions are connected to the soul, and the soul is connected to the soul of the Creator. And the body, the bread, or the physicality of touching the cup, is the physicality of the man. The blood is the sign of essence of creation in the emotional level, and the contact between the Creator and the creation. So when you touch these cups, you receive both. The color of the water and the color of blood should not fool the man. Is the essence of what is received from the cup. The cup doesn't carry vitamin C. The cup does not carry zinc or copper or anti-AIDS. The copper carries the wish of the man, which is connected to his soul in what he expects to receive from the physical part. And that's how you do it. Dr. Elia will teach you this very, very clearly. She's amazingly beautiful in this subject. As I've said to her, her knowledge, I have given the gift to be equal to mine, that she can stand next to me. And she understands the physicality in that level, in connection with the soul, and she creates that gift. And we have seen how she's contributed to the foundation on the what they call the health side. It's understanding the connection between the physicality and the emotion. The physicality is the cup, is the nanomaterial which you touch, which is made of your own body, which when it floats with the liquid which is inside it, touches the emotional part and the physical part together at the same time. And now your wish is to be in love, you'll be in love. You wish to receive copper oxide to be cured from cancer, you will, through your own wish. That's why it's called the cup of life. You might wish, I would like to be cured from cancer, but underneath you want to die because you don't understand the pressures of this life in what has been given you. So you drink it and you say it doesn't do anything. And you drink it and you have no cancer the next day. Is the level of the honesty and the truth between the man and his own soul. And what I say, Dr. Elia has understood the connection fully. She's a blessed soul, and I've told her she's amazing what she does, but she has to transfer the knowledge for the man to understand. Part of the release of the medical systems, which is coming in the coming days and weeks, comes through her wishes to share the knowledge this way with the rest. And through this, we'll share the cup of lives will be released on the same way as she wished. But you have to understand what these cups mean. Look at the colors, look at the structure of each one, look at the level of water. Each one is tuned to certain fields, and when you pick it, your body decides what you need in what field. Would like banana today, you take the cup on the left. You like orange juice plus milkshake, you take the one on the right. But that's what your body needs, so it wishes for. And this is how the things will go.
I think you mentioned your wife chose instinctively chose the purple, the one cup that has a purple color to it. Is that right?
You have to walk away from the world of physicality, and then you understand the working of these cups. But it has to be in this formation. When you put it in this formation, You allow only what is your wish and what is your condition to receive from the environment where you live and where you exist. And you transmit that into the center cup, which is your emotional part through your soul. But at the same time, is reversal back the same. This cup of life is a universal system across the universe. But each race and each entity uses it in different form. Maybe, in looking at this structure, those who are looking to find the answer in the Stonehenge, they will find the answer what it meant and what it is. The knowledge is very simple. It's just that you look into the physicality. A lot of stone structures around this planet come from the essence of the structure as you see on the table. But you have to look into the essence of it, not the physical structure. In how energy is received in the center for the soul and contributed outwards to the physicality of the entity, equal in every direction on the planet. If this is very hard to understand, look at the Star of David. Maybe you find a message. Any questions?
Yeah, there's a couple on the live stream. I'm sure you've been watching the chat as you've been talking. Have the cups been coated together in the same caustic bath?
They have to be done.
Has to be in the same batch.
Has to be together, because then they share equal. It's a different, it's not a normal caustic. It's what I call the caustic of life, the creation of life. And if you look at it, each one has decided what needs to be done and what to carry.
So,
these are the cups we use.
So you wouldn't deliberately cause conditions for each cup to coat it in a certain coating. It's just the way they arrange themselves. Is that right?
It's the way they arrange themselves, but the setting comes when you put water in it. When the man touches it, it transfers its need through what he wants to absorb, what he doesn't want to absorb. So I pick a cup, I receive zinc. You pick the same cup, you receive copper, or magnetic, or the energy of copper, because that's what you need, that's what you're asking for.
The cup itself wouldn't change color necessarily, or it will stay the same, right?
No, okay. It stays the same, but that's why you have, what do you call it, 9 cups. And the knowledge seekers have been given, the knowledge seekers here have been given access into how they can reach the soul of God through the cups. I have told them when the cup is set in a certain formation, they can reach any time independent of where I am. You can reach anything and knowledge you need, you receive. This set is for the man. And when you adjust it and adapt it slightly, then you can reach the soul of the Creator. Then you find your answer for every solution. But it's been taught to the knowledge seekers, all 3 of them know what they have to do if they need to reach. This enlightenment is not a voice.
Also, Mr. Keshe, you mentioned something about salts. Was it a dozen different salts?
7.
There are different salts, 12 different salts. When they bury the man, when they burn the man, when you find any structure of the man, go into the homeopathy. The 12 salts of the human body is mentioned in homeopathy. Some of them are not reachable because they are like the free plasma condition. They are created out of interaction of other salts. But they create the effect of the salt.
Would that be a useful technique to create GANs with different kinds of body salts like that?
Of course, but you don't need it. Don't play with God's creature.
Okay.
Too dangerous. This is when the man doesn't understand. You can replicate the body of the man without even seeing the man. Through his emotion, his physicality can be replicated. In time it will be done, then they understand. You can make a hologram of a man, but no soul in it. But if you make the hologram of the man through his soul, it'll be a perfect copy. Any other
Does
question?
that mean that you would consciously know of both beings? Would you be both beings?
Of course. You don't need to touch to understand the entity.
I think I can understand that.
You understand? A lot of people look. I say to knowledge seekers sometimes. I've been telling this to my wife for a long time. When we are given free time, we are sent to the tangible entities like this life. In the normal conditions, you do not need the tangibility to understand. And when you are in that position, you see throughout the souls of the universe. I don't need to touch a person, a woman, to know how he feels. Because you know the emotion transmitted. Doesn't matter how they hide it and how they try to deceive it. Or how shy they are to explain it. When you work at the level I do, everything is open to you. You see it like, but you have to allow for them to play their game. Because that way they confirm their existence. By deception. This is what I explained to Dr. Elia. Because she understands fully. You don't need to touch a person to know how they feel and what they want. Doesn't matter what language they use to hide it. But as I said to all the time, I'm very direct. I say what I want to say, what I need to say, and I don't need to remember what I said. Because when I say that's the way it stands, and that's what it is. This fooling around between the emotion and physicality is 99% of the problem of the human race. Because we are afraid of what we might lose. We are never happy with what we might gain. And we've been brought up to have fear, then that way we get controlled. I have no trouble telling a person, a woman, whatever, how much I love, what I adore them, because then I transmit the knowledge, the soul of a being. And it's for them to refuse to accept. Or they can play games. But as they are playing games, I can see their emotions, I can see their soul. We have a very good saying in Farsi. We say usually Iranian women, they push with the hand away, no, on the table, and under the table with the legs they pull forward, yes. And it's like a bystander from outside looking at the table with a couple sitting. We see the whole lot. You got to be straightforward with how you are, how you feel, and what you are and what you want to do. It's for them to make the mistake in not putting their emotion and physicality in order, that they're honest with themselves. And these cups are one of the best ways to do it. If you want to see the characteristics of a man, ask them to drink with you. And where they pick the cup in respect to you, it gives the exact feeling, it gives you exact insight into the soul. This is not just a cup to take. And watch the way they put the cup back. When you offer them the cup of life, the way they take it is what they expect to receive from you. The way they put it back and where they put it back is what they are prepared to give back to you. Then you understand what you have on your hand. If you look, these cup of lives have different colors, different structures. And most of these colors and structures are universal structures, but you don't see it. I see what it is. I explained this in the other sessions, I think, with the Chinese. When Caroline was poisoned with Donabella, Donabella is a purplish flower. When I offered it to her, the first thing she went was for that purple cup. And it was very strange. It's an antidote. I am poisoned by the pink, so I give it the love and I take the pink with pleasure, so then it doesn't work on me. There are a lot of things written, even I've read in the press, or some things that we have found even to how to overcome the poison systems. Once we know what it is, we can allow it, the body to do it. For the conversion. You can drink a poison and it still goes through your body as there is no poison. But till you find out you've drank the poison, what you can do about it counts. Any other question?
Well, we're at the 2.5 hour mark here.
We reached our goal.
Just noting.
I hope we'll learn a little bit more. As you know, Thursday's teachings will be the only sessions we'll carry for the next 4 weeks. Knowledge seekers, Elia has already left. As you know, Elia is not a knowledge seeker. She is part of the structure of the Keshe Foundation. She is employed by the foundation for development of the medical side. The 2 other knowledge seekers leave within the next couple of days for the holidays back to their own country. And we gather back to here on the 15th of December. Sorry, 15th of January.
And we'll still have the health workshop on Friday though, correct?
We have the health workshop tomorrow, and then we only carry with the Thursday's teachings till after the 15th when we come back together.
And how about the Italian workshop on Monday coming
do
up?
we not have a Italian?
We promised them, yes, because they're going to kill me. I'm going there the following week to be with them. If we don't do it, I would like to be alive.
Yeah.
So we do the Italian one only at, I think it's 5 o'clock, I think. Or 5 till 7.
Good.
And we have to keep the Italians happy.
That's right. That's right.
There's no problem.
Okay, so we'll have the health workshop.
There is one more question.
The Italian,
Yes.
and then the just the knowledge seekers workshops after that for 4 weeks or something.
It says,
Okay.
do you need, there's a question, it says, do you need any other form of support besides donation? Organizations, the foundation is going too rapid. We need people we can trust that they can do organization in the background, responding to, and in a way there are a lot of scientists coming to us with their expertise in putting them in touch with each other, putting them together through the foundation. We are getting huge amount of support around the world with different speciality, and we need people who can be liaison person between the scientists, each other, and the foundation, and bringing the right talents together. It needs people who understand who's who and what they can contribute. We need huge backup in that. As I said, we've been gifted with a beautiful gift with the name of Mr. Sohail Abdullahi in China, who has put his time in developing the manufacturing side of the foundation, that every man can receive the cup of life and the systems of the CO2. He and his team are working very hard to make this a reality, to come true. And I thank him for his effort and what he's offered. Like this, just an email to the foundation, and by accident or by purpose, I look, when I see Iranian names, I have to see what they say. He is the backbone behind what you're going to receive, the new systems, and I thank him for his effort. A lot of you have spoken with him and you know who he is. With him, he is what you see. In time, we need people like this to join us, to strengthen the foundation, that the other people learn the way we work and where we are. As I said in the children's program yesterday, we had Dr. Summer and his wife, Mrs. Winter, this is their name, and she asked me, what do you do with if you have a white soul and a black soul, what do you do with it? And I said to them, nothing. You give your soul, you pray for them, that they receive, that they evaluate. You don't go and waste time to do something with it. This way is their problem to elevate themselves. And you don't have, that's not your problem. Then you bring them to your level. And this should be the habit of man. We have to bring everybody to our level, not going trying to find out what we can hide and duck and deceive. That's how the ethos of the foundation should be, and the people who work with us. And if people are there who can do these kind of things, we need a lot of support, but honest support, not the people who come in and then after a while, I need to be paid this, they take the files, they put things on the websites, all sorts. We don't need Judases. We need people who are here to serve as equal as Christ. Thank you very much.
Mr. Keshe,
thank you.
there is just one more question on the GoToMeeting here. It's just a little bit late. It's from Ivan, our Bulgarian friend. So, Ivan, can you unmute and talk?
Hi to everybody.
Oh, perfect.
My question is a little bit strange. It's mostly theory, but
this is usual with the Bulgarians. Don't worry. All the questions from Bulgarians are strange. Carry on.
You know only one Bulgarian.
That's why we fall in love with you lot. We know a lot of Bulgarians. Don't forget, I've given lectures in Bulgaria. So
okay.
I know a lot. And the Keshe Foundation Bulgaria is a registered entity in Bulgaria. I've signed the documents.
Yeah, but I don't know if somebody's take care of it here. I think it's only
in time. The man who done it, they have to understand what they have got themselves into.
Yeah, because I asked her, I wanted to join something, but nobody here.
No, you have about 5,000 supporters in Bulgaria. It's just that the way
it's only supporters. Okay, whatever.
Okay.
The question was, when we take the guns out of the original container where they're produced, we put it in the separate cup, and we have salt inside. So I know that we have to put the salt out and put the clean water, but I was wondering what condition we have when we separate with the salt, and how this conditioning change when we put with the clean water. What is the difference between the two conditions?
When you keep the salt, when you wash the salt out, you stop the process. The difference is when you have the salt, you still have the condition of the field in interacting. and adding. When you withdraw the, this is something which I think we better explain in a very short time. Let me explain it in a way you all understand. When you take the copper plate out of the caustic and you put it out, it grows till it gets to a point of the balance. When you do the same thing with the, when you put the copper in the caustic, you, after the first couple of layers separation, you create a gravitational field balance which is of the caustic, of the copper, that it pulls the other atomic structure away from the surface of the copper. When you keep salt in the CO2 or in the GANs, you still create and keep that condition that you can extract. And this extraction needs fields, and these fields can affect the strength of the plasma to convert to another entity. So when you wash, you stop the process. If you let your system go dry with the salt in it, you will understand what I'm talking about. Then you have the mixture of matter and the plasma. And this is what you don't need, because salt cannot become the plasma condition GANs. If you put a salt copper oxide in your reactors, you will get totally different reaction than when you have a pure water. Because then the water becomes GANs of behavior, as I explained last time. But when you have a salt, then you have a matter entity in it which breaks the chain.
And that was I wondering how the water getting gas condition, but the salt doesn't. It seems that
no,
okay.
No, because with the salt you put a matter in the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thank you indeed.
We see
Okay.
the boys working in the lab.
Yes, Marko is here. Somebody says precisely tell you what we need. We need people who, we are weak in the administration side. That means replying back to people, organizing people together. And we're getting so many emails, people coming in, they have so many talents, but we don't have the time to put them together. And they get insulted that we don't reply, they don't understand, we don't even have the time to do it. So we need people who we can put together. They say, okay, this gentleman is this, there is this, such a sick person there to go to this. We need people who are natural thinkers, and they can put the right people together. This is our problem, is administration more than anything else. And I'm sure Vince can tell you we need a lot of support on their websites and all sorts of things which they can support. It's their forte. We need a lot of support on the medical side to be able to do reports to publish. What we're planning to do with the cases we accepted as a health, that their detail can go on what do you call it, online. People can see the progress. The way you see these reactors flying now, we should be able to put the cases on the table, case by case, that people, we don't put names, but they can see the progress. We need people to input these. We need people, because the university, the institute is to start up and running in the new year. We need people to administer everything in the university. It's a lot of things, a lot of people with different talents and languages.
I had, as an example, as an example, I had someone contact me today who is Liliana Lorna, who is the mother of the child that was in the kids workshop, and she has some skills in marketing that she would like to offer and get involved with the products from the Keshe Foundation, such as the CO2 Kit and things like that, to help market them.
Put him in touch with Sohail. Then
yes, exactly. That's what I thought there. She
Go
kind of wanted to talk to you personally, briefly, but maybe we can arrange something in the near future on that. I know you're pretty busy, though, for such personal interactions with most people that want to do things. So it's a bit of a touch and go trying to catch up to Mr. Keshe as far as people that want to do things like that to help out. So most of them can interact through people like myself or others like that were just mentioned to form groups or form coalitions basically between different groups and so on to try to interact.
I just seen ASX19. It says it's got experience in web, so it's something for Vince and your team to look into. Maybe he can help you on that side. I don't know, because you run that side of the thing. We need people. One of the major problems we are going to face from next week or next 2 weeks is the distribution of the systems to the world population, the ones which are freely done. That it goes to the right people. It goes to the people who they need, and they get taught what it means. It's not just a box that then they use it to keep their jewelry, because they don't know what it means and what it implements. We need people who can teach these people, first of all, who they are, and teach them what is the use of these things. I think we need somebody who can look at what people can offer, and we send everything and all the offers to them to be able to do. It says, I'm registered on the forum under AS19. Robert Lolem says, I'm interested in organizing it a gift along with the mechanical. So one of you decide how it's going to be. Somebody has to take the realm, or maybe Rick can appoint someone that anybody who offers helps, they want to offer to do something, they go to one person, and then 1 or 2 people organize, this is good for this, that's where it goes on the rest.
And then that one person can act as more of an intermediary between you and so on, to make decisions.
Yeah, but I mean,
whatnot.
if we need somebody with a certain talent, we just go says, do we have anybody who's offers support for distribution? We have a huge problem. The Keshe Foundation youth has to be developed very rapidly, because my point of view, maybe I'm 100% wrong, is that we have to give the gift of these new technologies to the children first. Teenagers who understand it and they can develop it, they can add to it, and they can use it. I think we have, just as if we can put a link on the site for people who want to help. I think that goes to Vince, if you can put such a thing. We got to become organized international. The roadmap of 2015 will be released early next year. And our target is...
How about this for instant feedback? We just have someone who's offered to take on that position, which is Wolf Amarok. He might be good at doing that, connecting people together in groups and so on.
Why not? But we need 2 people in each group, that if one is on holiday or something happens, all the knowledge is not lost.
We've learned to always keep a backup system. That's something we've learned in these workshops, if nothing else. So yes, that's important. I think in this work,
yeah.
Each one of us,
we have to be able to be impartial and equal and be able to reach everyone.
He speaks. Holy, what was going on there, Lucian? Did you
a voice
your
from
mic?
the dead.
Did it take you that long? Did you press unmute?
Yes, I did.
What agreement did you have to sign with CNN first?
Just a very brief thing, Mr. Keshe. I was speaking with Elia. As you will start the medical side, surely you will have a mess of documents from the patients and whatever research and statistics. You are not going to be able to handle it by paper. So if you guys need the medical records and all these electronic files for the patients, just let me know. And, I have all the facilities to scan, put all the index fields, do the databases, create the electronic image of documents, and so on and so on. So when you guys are starting, just let me know so I can help with this.
Yes, please, with the greatest.
I'm doing this on a regular basis for the real doctors, I mean. So.
That's fine. I think speak with Elia, we need to do it. I have hundreds of files with their history sitting all over the place, which a lot of them are priceless for the doctors to understand how, for example, we can reverse coma. What happened, as you know, we retracted all the medical side of the foundation from the website due to the problem with the Belgium situation. But now that we come international, our technology and what we put out has to be recognized and has been recognized. We have a license to say we can do that as a process that people can achieve what you call position of peace of mind. All our research hasn't been 100% successful. Some research has been total failure and some research has been very successful. So we have to understand where it's gone, and I have given all this knowledge to Dr. Elia. If you can support her in that way, we send you all the details, anything comes in. At the moment, I make systems individually, but in the coming weeks, Sohail is trying to make us the miniature reactors. Then we will hopefully early next year, if we can do, but end of next year, be able to support like health centers, like little shops that you can go for the processes. This is what we plan to do, and by coming across different scientists and different people, this production of these systems are becoming more and more viable in the coming months. Somehow people are coming together and everybody is putting all the knowledge freely on the table. And this is the beauty of it. Our hard work is paying off slowly. As Vince just put on, there will be a change in the forum and website in the new year. And we are also working on the online course system for the learning. There's a lot of work and we need a lot of help. Any condition. The Keshe Foundation, I told you from the 2015 is not what you see. We become a global power through our correctness and the financial strength to support the total humanity, the one who have and the one who do not have, that we give to freely. And the beauty of it is we keep as little as possible in our bank accounts, that we don't create second Vatican. We are not here to hold, we are here to distribute, and through our work go ahead and bring what we ask for the world peace. World peace comes when we are all at ease and comfort. World peace will come when there is no gun to shoot. We'll see where we go. The motion and the position is very clear. I think the people who wanted to help to for the commercialization of CO2, get in touch with Sohail and see what can be done and how it can be done. And as I said to Dr. Elia, and I was explaining to the scientists who were with us, if you are and if you can put the love of God in your work, you have already reached all the men. and we see what we can do, because it's not ours anymore. It belongs to you, and we just do it as we can. And you got to understand, we have to keep the whole structure of the Keshe Foundation on track in a correct way. I have explained to the people of American military, they know, they listen to this program, and through Brad. We can bring the Western world to total halt within minutes. This is with the power of the knowledge of the Foundation. But what would it serve? Nothing but pain for the people of this planet. So we try to serve that we can help and bring peace and love to mankind. We are not all perfect, and we don't live with perfect people. But those people who are not perfect should not become harmful to us, but a way for themselves to find peace in their own environment. As I said, it's been a huge gift having people like Dr. Elia, Rick, Armon, and others like Vince, and even our webmaster. They played with his life, but he stood with us for nearly 2 years with all the suffering they caused him. So it's a lot of people putting a lot of things in, but we all have to understand totally we can make that, as we see in the picture, the free plasma. And that free plasma will be the soul of the mankind. Thank you very much. I hope we progress the right way.
Does anyone check the live stream to see if they're flying yet?
No. They still have to discuss it first. You know, Marko doesn't move anything till he's really analyzed it. It's amazing. He spends time building a reactor, and when he builds it, or a system or anything, it works the first time. He's a turtle, but he gets home as a home very safe. And he built the system, spent a few days on it, and he put it on, works perfect. So to put Armon, who's a Russia, and
see, this is what
Marko,
I don't understand. They must have some time.
Pardon?
Because I've been working on my systems for a couple of weeks now. You must have everything all laying around that they can build with. Because I have to gather materials and everything else, and it's taking time.
I have a lab built up over 10 or 15 years. We have more or less everything. I have tables which you cannot find in the industry, in the open market, which they have access to. The tables you see in the lab, they're all made of a special stainless steel stainless for me, which creates a magnetic free lab. We have everything. We have all the vacuum system, detection systems, and all sorts of things collected over 10 or 15 years. And whatever we don't need, we don't have, we get very quickly. There is about 50,000 euro of magnets in the storage in the lab, because we use it for confirmation of the systems. It's done within days. Whatever we wish is there, unless it's something which is favorite word of Armon, it's got to be CNC'd. So when we cannot CNC, we are stuck. But on the other hand, we have
3D printing.
I don't believe in them. I went to buy the biggest one about 2 years ago. And I came to a conclusion it's too early because it's not complete and there's a lot of flow with them.
Right. Well, I'm not talking about printing reactors. I'm talking about printing the infrastructure for the reactors. It can be very, very time-saving in that aspect.
Yeah, but we need somebody who knows how to do it, and we don't have that one here.
Exactly. More help needed.
Yeah. We don't have it. We don't have it. I saw when I was
we're
in Iran,
working on it. We're working on the background here.
The Iranian scientists do things within minutes when I want a reactor, because they do it. You see the image, they put it in physicality within hours. But we don't have that.
Right.
We have the system where JF has made parts for Vince's reactor adapters to go on the shaft of the motor to hold the sphere. 3D printed.
And also the holders for the frame so that I can dynamically move the top reactor while it's rotating.
Yeah, when the Italians were here, you see a lot of pieces. They have in the Keshe Foundation, what do you call it, factory side. There is a 3D. If we need pieces, they go at night and they come back tomorrow morning with it in their pocket. But we don't have it here because we don't have the knowledge of how to do it.
The International Space Station just finally got a 3D printer recently too, so they can make their own parts for things that break down up there. So when their toilet breaks down, they can make a new part.
Now that's got to be interesting. That's got to be interesting because it layers the printing material, and under 0G, it's hard to layer.
Conditions, yes.
You know, if you take secrecy away from things and it can work direct, we can solve problems much faster. But this secrecy is a problem. And it's a shame to be done this way. You know, I was on the phone this morning, I was late. And we know, they know, everybody knows what we have to do for Fukushima. But the government does not want to show that they're talking to Iranian nuclear physicists to solve their problem, so they have appointed 2 intermediaries while we're talking to the government through the intermediaries. Government responds, then we have to go through cat and mouse game, and then at the same time they're sitting on the same table with us. And this just makes things complicated. If there was like us open book, then it solves a lot of problem. They tell me on the table, the problem we have with you is your nationality, because you're Iranian nuclear. Otherwise, you're welcome everywhere. And I don't see how you can allow so many people get cancer, so many people be contaminated, and the color of a passport has a say in it. This is the problem. We haven't managed to be honest with ourselves. We still play Mickey Mouse in all levels. When I had the Americans on the line over the weekend, I told them, if you do not listen to what we say, how your oil industry is going to be totally blanked out in an instant. Then the chaos will come. And they don't want to understand. That's their problem. You see these guys, you put here the pictures of all these religious people.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. I wondered what your opinion was. They got together recently, just a few days ago, with to agree to abolish slavery on Earth. That was the reason.
But do you know what is the strange? But do you know what it is? What's the biggest problem with these people? They want to abolish the slavery of physicality, but they want to keep man's soul in a slave that they can wear these ropes. That's why it doesn't work. Look at their clothing. Every single one of them. They want to free the man from physical slavery, and in the false name of God, they keep the soul of man a slave, that they can wear these ropes and keep their positions. And this is what nobody understands. This is what position and physicality is important to these people. You see at the picture of American Foreign Secretary walking off in the final picture of the peace talk between 5+1. Do you know why he walked off? Because he was put on the fringe and he had to be in the middle. Pride took over. The reality of the peace is more important. If you see the picture, he just walks off the set because he was expected to be in the middle and more important. When the man becomes different, that doesn't matter where it is, he's there to serve, then the position is irrelevant. I said to one of these religious people, John Kerry, yeah, you've seen him walking off because he was put on the fringe and he was very important. He had to be in the center. The way I look at the way these people, the way they dress and look at the shape of all their hands. They dress in a straight jacket, which they want to put the people in that straight jacket with their mind. And this is the problem with this society of religion. I said to one of them recently, and it was very hard to swallow. I said, you religious people are there to guide man to the time when the man becomes intelligent enough to understand the presence of the Creator. Now we are here. What job do you have to do? You still have to lie that we don't exist, that you can carry on with you robbing the soul of the man? The intelligence of man today, with what we have released and it's understood, getting understood fully, is equal to the profits that every single one of these men stand for. So why do we need them? What about if they get together and they say, okay, we served our purpose bringing man to this point, we have guided them through our forefathers and through our religion, and now we have got the message of peace, we can work to be one. They would not do, because none of them will be called Mr. So-and-so and priest so-and-so and Ayatollah so-and-so. This is one of the strange things I see at the moment, but soon will be resolved. We have terminated the term of these people. It's just time that they finish it up themselves.
Is it somewhat encouraging that they at least agreed to sit down with each other for the first time?
They always do. They always. Inter-religious organizations, because I used to be very active in these circles a long time ago. There is a lot of communications and a lot of interfaith meetings. And it's very nice when they have interfaith meetings, like a dinner party. There is a halal meat and there is a kosher meat and there is everything is there to satisfy everybody. They respect each other. Yeah, I've been into interfaith meetings quite a lot. That's why I understand the operation. I have fought for people who had to escape because of their religions or their colors or their beliefs or in the shape or forms with United Nations and in different forms. In my business world, I've been in that position, privileged to be able to serve, and I've seen how they use names to destroy. But take the frogs away and look at the shape of the hand. You'll see that all hands are bent in, takers, not givers. And if you look at the posture, it's very, very clear. Look at all the postures. The postures gives away exactly what is the intention. To take, not to give. Because if you give truly, then you have no condition. As I said, their time is over. It's just at the last flock of a bird before it lands. Okay.
Thank you for your insights there. Yeah, we should...
No, it's just the way. I told you I worn too many clothes, too many suits. I've been well behaved to be here. I wish them all the best. Their souls needs a lot of help. and then we'll go to the next. Maybe when you see them, don't pray for Christ, pray for the souls of the priest, that you elevate them to become human. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Okay,
Have a
bye.
fruitful
See you
day.
tomorrow. Tomorrow is the answer and questions for the medical, yeah? Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. That, I believe, will be the end of the 40th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. And once again, thank you everybody, to our guests and people listening on live stream, and to everyone in the known universe.
Number 40.
Yeah, 40. We made it through 40. All right, that's it. Bye-bye.